Всем привет! This is Andrey Anikin, and I'm excited to be part of Humans of Telecom.
Hey everyone, a very warm welcome to Humans of Telecom, the Unplugged podcast. This is your host, Anurag Aggarwal. As you all know, this is where we go beyond the networks and numbers to spotlight the people behind telecom's biggest innovations, the thinkers, doers, and dreamers who are shaping how the world connects. And today's guest is one of those rare visionaries who has quietly helped build the very backbone of our global messaging business. With over 22 years of experience in telecom software, he's turned a bold idea, started with just 3 people, into a powerhouse operation spanning more than 200 professionals all across the world. He's a leader who blends sharp technical insight with a strong belief in balance between growth and sustainability, innovation and discipline, work and wellness. When he's not building cutting-edge telecom solutions, you'll likely find him advocating fitness, focus, and living life with purpose. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Andrey Anikin, CEO at Alaris Labs. Andrey, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this journey. We'd love to hear more about you. Which part of the world do you belong to? And from where are you joining this podcast today?
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And I'm originally from Russia. Right now, I'm joining in from our office in Singapore. But as nearly everyone in the telecoms industry, I spend a lot of time traveling. So it's pretty hard to define where I spend most of the time. It may be my home in Russia, it may be Singapore, Dubai, Turkey, or, one of those countries where we all meet at telecom conferences. Well, you know the story as well as I do.
Absolutely, Andrey. So firstly, thank you once again for being a part of this show. We know how much of a jet-setter life you lead. And I personally, I think in the last 2 months, I've met you in 2 to 3 different continents altogether.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, and I think most people who are listening to this podcast and who've interacted with you or with the Alaris team, we always remember how colorful and flashy your booths are everywhere, wherever you guys participate. And at so many of those places, we can see Andrey himself leading from the front and being present and ensuring that every conversation that one is having with Andrey and with the Alaris team, it's always so meaningful and impactful. So I'm looking forward to a similar meaningful and impactful and a very interesting conversation with Andrey, because Andrey is somebody I've always seen as a professional with whom you can definitely have the best of work conversations. But if you're able to switch on into the informal mode, there is so much more to uncover about Andrey. And that's what we are looking forward to in our conversation today.
Yeah, I think we'll disclose a couple of secrets from my personal life as well, apart from the professional side.
Perfect. And we're looking forward to hearing those. So, Andrey, let's start with your journey. I did mention briefly that with over 2 decades of experience, you have created an organization which is today powering so much of our messaging business. But tell us, how's the journey been for you? Was telecom something that you had your eyes set on? Or did you have something else in mind? Was this by accident or by plan? How has the journey of Andrey been so far?
Yeah, well, I liked referring to that as act of God. Yeah, well, obviously, I did not have any intention of joining exactly the telecoms industry. It all started like more than 20 years ago when I graduated from university, and I was doing pretty much a random job there, rather than just to feed myself. And then, after a few months, I heard that one of the local IT companies was hiring people to the technical support team, some English-speaking people. So, I didn't know anything about the job of a technical support engineer then, but I thought, well, I speak decent English. Yeah, I'm a linguist by diploma. Why not try that? IT sounds interesting. I always had a knack for that. I did a bit of software design. Yeah, so basically I knew a thing or two about the technical side of IT. So I applied and I got the job. And the company that was hiring turned out to be Mera, which later rebranded as SwitchRay. So it used to be very popular as a soft switch vendor in the voice over IP market. So basically started as a technical support engineer for me, and it was a very good step in my career, something very good to start with because I learned very intensively over the first few months. I learned a lot of things like about the technical side of the telecom, not just voice over IP, like networks, operating systems, stuff like that. So I still think it was very useful to get to know all that. And then I was promoted to the sales team, and that was the beginning of my current journey, I would say. Basically, I got to know the customers. I started going to conferences and understanding the market in general, the global market of telecommunications. So I spent a few years there. Then I spent 3 or 4 years with another company called Telejet, another software vendor. And then when I was 30, we founded Alaris. We founded Alaris Labs back in 2010 with two of my friends. And from then onwards, I've been with the company, running this business in different positions. So basically, it has been a very interesting story, very exciting, never boring. Still gaining height, I would say.
That's amazing. And I think I have seen how Alaris Labs has gained heights over the past so many years that I've been in the industry. And I wish you all the very success for the years ahead. But in this journey of yours, Andre, I'm sure there must be some moments which are extremely special, memorable, and impactful. Can you share something with us today?
Yeah, well, I can single out two things, two moments that were really special for my career. The first one I have already mentioned, joining the IT as a technical support guy, knowing nothing, just, green fresh as a cucumber, but very energetic, full of, eager to learn. And so basically that was a very good starting point. And then, the other moment, like a turning point, a crucial moment, was founding Alaris. Because obviously it takes a bit of guts to, leave everything behind you, to stop working as an employee for a salary, and basically depart on a journey in a wild sea of your own business. Well, you know how tough it may be at times. No forecasts, no security. Everything depends on you. A lot depends on luck. So basically, it was very exciting and very challenging, especially taking into account the fact that I already had two little girls, two little daughters. So that was obviously adding up some extra risk. But I never regretted that. I think that was a very good decision, one of the best decisions I made in my life. So that was the real turning point that changed everything in the course of time.
Interesting. And I think it's been a very fascinating journey ever since, right? I think given a choice, while so many people would like to embark on the course of entrepreneurship, there are so many hardships that go into it. And, the ups and downs, while the ups are very interesting, the downs can easily consume a person and make somebody pull out of this dream. But it's good to see that it's been 15 years and you've been at it. And I'm sure there is a lot more in store for this business in the days to come.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's common knowledge that just 1 out of 10 startups survives the first year. So obviously we were lucky.
Amazing. And now let's shift gears a bit, Andre. Enough about Alaris Labs and your corporate journey. But let's talk more about Andrey Anikin, the human side. So, firstly, Andre, while we've all interacted with you over the years, but if there is something surprising or shocking that we don't know about you, what would that one thing be?
Well, there is a thing that is not, let's say, widely known to the people outside of my family and friend circle. I'm actually not a bad musician. So I play a lot of different musical instruments. So basically this is a very serious hobby. I could probably have become a pro like some 20, 30 years ago if I had wanted to. I chose a different path. No regrets here, but I still enjoy playing. I have a variety of musical instruments at home. So basically this is something that not everybody knows. Looks like I've disclosed the secret.
That's interesting. And which are some of these instruments that you play?
Well, starting from conventional stuff like acoustic guitars of different styles, an electric guitar, bass guitars. I have a variety of bass guitars. I even have a bass ukulele. Yeah, a fretless bass ukulele. It's not easy to imagine one, but I have it and I can play it. Yeah, so you see, this is really a serious hobby for me. So yeah, with all the not just having all that stuff, but also playing it. Yeah, of course, it gets more and more challenging over time because I have less and less time for that. Yeah, I still love it. To be honest, I still love it. Yeah, I still happen to record this or that piece of music when I have a few spare hours. It's a very good way of relaxation for me.
Absolutely, I can understand that. Music can be a form of meditation to those who vibe with it.
Right.
And that reminds me, a very long time back, I think it was episode 10, we had David Weiger, who's now a part of Proximus Global. And David plays the flute. And I even remember when we released the episode, he even shared in the comments some of his performances. So maybe, I don't know, Andre, in case if any of your performances are captured over YouTube or any other medium, we'd love a chance to hear through that. And possibly, I hope someday in one of the events, we all get a chance to even hear Andre play live.
Yeah, I look for something decent on YouTube and playing live. Yeah, I always enjoy that even more than recording stuff with my laptop. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to play for someone. Yeah, because it's a bilateral thing. Yeah, you send emotions to people, you receive their feedback, and it charges you. So basically, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Wonderful. I think the interesting word here was bilateral, which you've used in a different sense as compared to what we keep using in our industry already. And Andre, you already mentioned music now, but what else are your passions and hobbies? I have a feeling fitness is something which is very key to you because I've always seen that at any conference, you are always so well turned up. And I feel that this could possibly be one of your hobbies. But what are your passions and hobbies that keep you going?
Well, sports are definitely out there in my life. Yeah, I could not imagine myself without doing any kind of sport. I've been practicing amateur boxing for like 12 years now, which is a very good sport. It's like chess in a way. Yeah, people think boxing is about aggression. By no means it is. It's a completely different story. Yeah, you have to keep your head cool and calm. Yeah, you have to outsmart the other guy in the ring. So it's not about aggression, no way. And it's a very balanced sport. I mean, you get training of all possible sides, strength, coordination, speed, endurance and stuff like that. So it's very good for health. Of course, if you're not really mad about, hard punches. At my age, I obviously cannot afford that, even if I wanted to. Yeah, so basically, yeah, on an amateur level, with all the necessary protection, gloves, helmets, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Apart from that, I happen to do some like running. Yeah, I can do a half marathon now and then. Also, not really a pro. By no means I am, but yeah, but it's good. It's like meditation. Yeah, when you run, and your head is empty. Basically, you can think of anything. You enjoy the environment. Basically, I like it. Yeah, and also like CrossFit, like day-to-day training is always with me. Since I travel a lot, I cannot take my gym with me. So I just take my exercises, which I can do at a hotel room. Yeah, basically don't need to go anywhere to practice to keep fit. And yeah, it's always good. I mean, it's always good to keep your mind fresh. Yeah, if your body is fit, your mind is fresh. So basically, yeah, that's about it. That's about the sports. And yet another hobby, which has been with me since my very early years, since like when I started to read, I was like 5 or 6. Reading is a very big hobby, to be honest. It's not just education. I don't only read for like professional growth. I read for pleasure. I read for pleasure a lot, and that's probably one of the few things why I like long haul flights. Yeah, because I can take an interesting book with me. Yeah, so and a flight from Dubai to Sydney. Yeah, for 15 hours, I can enjoy reading quietly, which is not typically the case with me, like in my regular life. I have too many like job activities, family stuff. Yeah, but on the plane, yeah, I can read as much as I want. So yeah, I really love like Russian classics like Pushkin, Tolstoy, Bulgakov, and I also pay respect to guys like John Fowles or Graham Greene.
Interesting. So, reading, amateur boxing, running, and whatnot. I mean, it's interesting to see all the multifaceted sides about you which is coming out. And what's even more overwhelming is the fact that as a founder and that to a global operation, you would have so much on your mind. But in spite of that, yeah, I think you said that, running actually helps clear your mind. And that's
Yeah,
an
true.
activity which you can just take with you everywhere, right? So I'm hoping that maybe on Orchard Road or somewhere out there in Singapore also, you're finding your morning running space.
Yeah, it's a bit hot, yeah, but yeah, why not? Yeah, like running in Dubai is even hotter, I would say, unless you do that in early morning.
Absolutely. But it's good to see that there are so many varied interests that you delve into. And I think that's the very balance I was referring to at the start in your introduction that one sees that while work is an important part of your life, but there are so many other sides of you which is coming out. And I'm happy to see that you devote time to fitness, to reading, to music, and even, of course, to building a business. Amazing. And now we're going to play a very interesting game, Andre. So, two truths and a lie. You need to share three interesting statements with us about yourself. And I have to guess which
Okay.
one of them is a lie and the other two are truths. So, do you have three such statements for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so here comes number one. I have 8 guitars.
Okay.
Okay, the second one is I have 5 kids.
Okay.
Yeah, and the last one, in the past, I used to work as a school teacher. Now try to guess which one is false.
Interesting. Very interesting. So, eight guitars, five kids, and a school teacher I have to deal with.
Right.
All right. So I would say that chances are, given that you already mentioned, or I got you to mention the instrument, and you said that you're quite into guitars. So I'm going to take a chance and say that yes, you do have eight guitars. Um, I would like to believe that you have five kids, but it'll be even more interesting to see that if in your past life you were a school teacher as well. So, just for the sake of this question, I'm going to say that the first and the third statements are true and possibly the second one is a lie. So, am I right out here?
You were close. Yeah, your reasoning was like you had grounds to think what you thought, but that's wrong.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have 10 guitars, not 8. Yeah, and mind you, I play all of them. Once again, I play all of them. Uh, I do have 5 kids. That's true. My youngest one is just 1 year old.
Uh-huh.
I forgot to mention he's the best fitness coach. Yeah, that keeps me fit. Yeah, because to catch him is, yeah, I have to perform miracles of agility on a regular basis. So I have to be fast and furious. Yeah, to be able to catch the guy. So, and yes, I used to work as a school teacher because I majored in linguistics and I taught children in a regular school in my home city. I taught them English for like a year or something.
Interesting. So we have a man with 10 guitars, 5 kids, and a past life as a school teacher.
Correct.
You just become even more interesting every minute, don't you?
Yes, I'm full of surprises.
Okay, so you have taught students in the past as well, but let's hear about your 5 kids. So you have 5 kids. The youngest one you said is a year old, and how old is the eldest one?
18.
Interesting. So, how has that entire journey of fatherhood been for you? I mean, I think every few years you have a new fitness coach being born. So, I think that's one of the reasons you are always in shape.
Yeah, more or less. More or less. Yeah. It's something that drives you crazy at times. But again, running your own business is even crazier. Yeah. So kids are interesting. Yeah. It's difficult from the management standpoint. Kids are probably the most difficult management project I've had in my life because it's very challenging. You have all the responsibility and you have no chance to, failure is not an option here, obviously. Yeah, with the business, if you fail, you can start a new one. Yeah, with kids, it doesn't work like that. Well, you can have a new kid, but yeah, what to do with the old one? Yeah, so it's always very challenging. And once again, no option for failure. But it's interesting. It's very rewarding. It's Yeah, I really enjoy it. I've always enjoyed being a father. I've always enjoying. I've always been enjoying bringing up the kids. Yeah, now the elder ones are like adults. It's very interesting to talk to them when I get to see them, of course. Yeah, and the youngest one, yeah, as I said, is very small, just a toddler. It's a different lifestyle. Yeah, it's a different type of pleasures. Yeah, of delights, of fun, of communication. Yeah, you have to communicate on an absolutely different level. Yeah, because he does communicate a lot. You just need to learn to speak his language as he learns to speak yours.
Interesting. Very interesting, Andrea. And being able to find time for all this in the midst of such a busy work life, I think I can imagine the challenge, but I'm sure you're doing really well at that.
Hopefully, yeah. Ask my kids when they grow up, like completely. Probably they will be the best judges.
Absolutely. And the last question of this section, if there is one thing you could change about your life, what would that one thing be?
That actually brings me back to my favorite science fiction writer, Ray Bradbury, who had like a story called A Sound of Thunder. I'm not sure if you have seen the movie or read the book. It's about a guy who went to the past for a safari, a dinosaur safari, and then stepped on a butterfly, and then he came back to the future, like learning that everything had changed because of him stepping on that butterfly 12 million years in the past. So yeah, that actually brings me to saying that I wouldn't want to change anything. Yeah, because I'm happy where I am. And you never know. Yeah, my road to where I am was not straight and well paved. Yeah, sometimes it was like dangerously curvy, and sometimes it would lead me right into a swamp. But overall, you never know. Yeah, if you change one small thing in the past, even some pain, if you remove that pain from your experience, from your background, who knows what it can change in the future. So basically, I would leave everything intact.
Perfect. So I think you did refer in some other way to the butterfly effect. But yes, it's good to see that things have turned out just the way you would have possibly wanted them to. And we have Andre here today celebrating life in every shape and form with his 5 kids.
Hopefully, yeah.
Awesome. And Andre, that brings us to our last question, our signature question. What does being human mean to you? What sort of a human being would you want the world to remember you as?
Yeah, I will answer with some thoughts that I've had over the years about the motivation. Yeah, what motivates people? What makes people set high goals and then go out of their way to achieve them? And I've come to think that the biggest motivator, the most powerful motivator for the greatest things in life is not money, is not power, is not fear, it's love. Yeah, the biggest things, the greatest things in life are made for love. Yeah, love for a woman, love for kids, love for friends, love of your home, love of your country, love of you, of the things you are doing in life. Yeah, so love is the biggest motivator. So being human means to love.
Perfect. I think that's such a wonderful thought to wrap up this conversation on. Being human means to love. And I think love being the foundation of every relationship, if that's something which we can practice all over the world, I think the world will be a much better
Yes.
place to live in.
Jokes aside, I'm sure it would be.
Absolutely, Andre. But on that note, thank you so much. In the midst of your hectic globetrotting, you managed to take out time for this conversation. So I thank you once again. And I do hope in the coming days there is yet another fancy Alaris booth which we can see at some conference, or we get to run into each other at some other event. But thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
And wishing you all the very best.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure being here, and have a good day.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Andre. And to all our wonderful listeners here, thanks a lot for tuning into the show. We hope this episode gave you a good glimpse of the human side of Andrey Anikin. Born in Russia, but now making waves across the world. An innovator and an entrepreneur who took a leap of faith, turning a bold idea into a globally recognized brand. A linguistic turned school teacher who found his true rhythm in telecom, proving that great communicators can also build great companies. A passionate musician with not one but 10 guitars, and we do hope someday we get to see him play live. a proud father of 5 children, with his 1-year-old doubling up as his toughest fitness coach. A runner who believes a fit body powers a sharp mind, and an avid reader of Russian classics and science fiction alike. And finally, a sports enthusiast who loves the thrill of amateur boxing, always ready for the next round in life and in business. That for us is Andrey Anikin. So, if you enjoyed today's episode, do stay tuned in, because we shall soon be releasing yet another episode and another compelling story from the telecom space. And do follow the podcast on your preferred streaming channel. On behalf of Humans of Telecom, this is your host Anurag Aggarwal signing off for now. Take care.